Alright, hello YouTube, it is May 22nd, and as you can see, we don't really have much news, at least no red or yellow folders today. If we check the week so we have an idea of what's happening, we have quite a bit of manufacturing news tomorrow, as well as the NZD cash rate, some GDP numbers on Thursday, and then some core PCE on Friday. So although today there's not much, there's a lot happening throughout the week, so a lot to cause some price movements in the market. Let's swap right over and get into our analysis. So the only trade we're currently in is USDJPY. We were previously, we had gotten in right over here at 5 a.m. Well, technically 5:30, I think. Because that was when news had dropped on Thursday. Price had quickly come up. I think I was mentioning the news drop was at 5:30. We were on it just a bit before 5. I'm like, I could probably set my stop loss or my entry a little higher, because we were using a 70 pip stop loss and a 210 pip take profit as price was coming up. I got a little worried. I'm like, okay, well, we'll just adjust our stop loss. We'll move it up to 139. Turns the risk into 1.5% or 1.5R instead of 1R, because we're going from 70 to 100. And then but the trade is still like at least a 2 to 1, even if it's not a 3 to 1. We'll just give it a bit more wiggle room. So yeah, ended up coming down on Friday at around 8 a.m. likely during the Jerome Powell speech. Not sure what he said, but like I always says some frisky things. Anyways, price dropped down and it's somewhat been consolidating and coming back up. We have these lower lows, but unfortunately we have these somewhat higher lows as well. So we're getting into a bit of a pennant formation. I'm still relatively on the side of it being a short. I think I did mention yesterday that were I to scrap all this, I would say it was a bit of a buy, but we're gonna find out over the next couple days. Anyways, that was the only open trade we have. So let's get into the analysis for the rest of the market. We have AUDCAD, can't say I see much opportunity here on the 1 hour. Let's drop it down to the lower time frame, 5 minutes. He did have this nice move up, but ended up breaking down below this trend line and has since been coming down. I think we're just gonna leave him be for now. Let's look at AUDCHF. Similarly, on the 5 minute, the lower time frame, we have a bit of this descending wedge here. We have this price precipitously dropping here. When you're looking at a trend line that is almost vertical, I would never really consider that to be a very good trend line to go with, just because I don't know, typically, if you could say, the more horizontal a trend line is, like the most horizontal trend lines are support and resistance lines, right? And they're typically what we use to add confirmation to trades. whether it be looking for some sort of rejection. Sorry, just uploading the YouTube chat. I gotta remember to type this shit out at the start or copy it over. Okay. Yeah, so we pretty heavily rely on horizontal lines being support and resistance, and when we have trend lines that are this vertical, I wouldn't necessarily say they're great to trade. They might be better to trade for a breakout, but in terms of actually using it to help add confluence to a trade in that direction, I generally don't give it much weight. Alright. Again, not seeing a lot here. We have a bit of a top here. Price has rejected from these previous levels. It's gone down. We have a bit of a descending wedge. We have this triple top. We have these lower lows with the same high top. So probably would be looking to get into a sell position, but just don't see any good patterning or good opportunities to get into the sell here. So we're going to move right along. AUDJPY, again, we had this bit of a pennant. Price broke out, came back, retested right here. What time did this happen? 17 and 23. Cool. And then prices continued back up, and now we're on this sort of ascending channel here. Okay, so if we take a look back, we have these multiple highs here, which could be a good selling opportunity if price were to come up quickly. If price were to meander over the next few days and eventually come up to these highs, I can't say that I'd be super keen on getting into a short. However, if for whatever reason news was really good for really bad for the yen and price immediately shot up, I'd be more inclined to get into a sell. Quick price action can tend to have very, very quick reversals. But that's the hourly. Let's check out the 5-minute. Again, we can see this sort of ascending trend line. We have this previous level of resistance here turn support. We have this previous level of resistance here, possibly turning support. Ideally, I'd like for it to meander around and create a new high before coming back here and then continuing on. If it does create a new high and comes back, I'd be looking to get into a buy. But that, I don't expect that to happen for a little while. So it'll be on our radar. We'll review it, but nothing catches the eye today. AUDNZD, nice. Obviously just a nice precipitous drop following the trend line, breaking below this previous low as well as this low. The most recent low back in December of 22 is just down here at 104, so we'll mark that up. We're still a ways away. We could be looking, nice little rejection candle here. So we're definitely favoring a sell here. We had this previous level of support turn resistance, so So we could be looking for a sell if price were to come up here. We're getting some higher lows here. In the very, very short time frame, we're getting a bit of a pendant. We have a high, lower high, lower high. We have a low, higher low, higher low. We're getting a bit of a pendant. Could be once that price breaks out, we can get a retest, and then as price comes back down, we can get into a position. What I'm saying is like this. We break out, we come back, and as price is breaking back below here, we get into a sell. But let's let market structure unfold a little bit more and just keep it on our radar list. On our radar. But we'll add a little tag to it to make sure we know to watch for it. I hope you guys, one sec, so just so you can see, there you go. So you can see that I've added a little pink tag to it. Just means it's one of the ones on the day that I'm looking to actively, like if I'm following 27 Forex pairs plus 3 indices plus gold, it could be a little tough remembering which ones were good plays for the day, so that sort of helps. Alright, AUDUSD again. Looking pretty similar to AUDCHF, I think it was. We have this nice ceiling of resistance. We have a couple different levels of support down here. So this higher level of support where we've seen multiple bounces, this lower level of support that we haven't broken since November. Price did break below. I guess in a sense we might have been hoping that it was going to break and retest and continue lower at this point, which it did not. It broke out to the upside. So we're gonna get rid of this guy. These trend lines, I won't hold much weight to them. You have a single touch here and a single touch here, single touch here, single touch here, but the price action is looking super messy, so it's just an opportunity to identify the fact that there are lower highs and higher lows, and that we don't necessarily have a clear signal. I mean, based on this, we'd want to say we're getting into a sell, but there's not necessarily any reason to say we can't continue up here, break above this trend line, and continue back up to this resistance level at 68. So we're just watching for that. Unfortunately, price action doesn't look clean enough for me to really want to care about watching this guy in particular, not like AUDNZD is. So we're going to swap right along to CADCHF. We'll go to the higher time frame. So we had this descending trend line that got broken to the upside, and now this ascending trend line got broken. So we're going to delete him. Alright. Move this a little bit. There we go. Again, price action is looking a little messy, not the cleanest. Could be looking for a sell here on this retest. pretty sure the trend line aligns, but again, this is a pretty vertical trend line, so not one of those trend lines that I get super confident in. For me to take this trade, I'd probably have to compare the other pairs in the basket. I'd have to look at the other Canadian. Oh man, there we go. I'd have to look at the other Canadian pairs and Swiss pairs and see how they're doing and confirm that this would be a good opportunity. As Forex markets are all highly correlated, I like to make sure that, especially in trades where I'm not super keen on the market structure, I look at very correlated pairs, which is pretty much the other Canadian pairs and the other Swiss pairs, and see if they're setting up similarly. And if they are, what I mean is, are the Canadian pairs looking like they're selling off? Are the Swiss pairs looking like they're a buy? Maybe I'll find a better opportunity in one of the other ones. This is only our 6th pair this morning. So for example, AUDCHF, he's looking very similar. He's in this very low movement here. So CADCHF right here, AUDCHF right here. Let's continue on. Let's look at all of the CHFs. EURCHF, he's down. GBPCHF, they're all making very, very similar moves. NZDCHF a little less so. And then the last one, USDCHF. Probably the one that holds the most weight, I would say, as it's the pair connected to the American dollar. We can see how similar all those moves look across all those 6 pairs. And how for maybe all of them except for the NZD pair, they all look like really good sells. Even this guy, he's looking like he was a buy. He was accepting these levels of support on this trend line, and he was at this level where you would hope that it would be a bit of a break and a retest, but it does not look to be that way at the moment. He looks like he's breaking below, but let's go back to Canadian CHF. All right. So we have quite a few levels of support turn resistance here. So support, 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 resistance, resistance, support, support. No. So we do know this is some sort of level of market structure where prices bounce multiple times. We do have this trend line. We do have a sort of a market structure that's suggesting it's bearish. You know, we have this high, low, lower high, lower low. It's not a very clean market structure. You can see here that we had this huge precipitous drop, then price came up here and just kind of wiggled around. So we definitely need to just keep an eye on it, pay attention, but possibly not trade it just yet. CADJPY on the 5-minute, big drop from the news. Looks like the yen pairs are rallying back up again. Again, we have this ascending channel. Were price to come back down to this level, I would consider getting into a buy. But for now, we are just monitoring. I don't see much opportunity on the lower or higher time frame for CADJPY. So Euro AUD, a lot of this sideways price action on the higher time frame. I think Euro AUD was the pair we were looking to possibly get into a sell up here. We had the trend line support, we had these previous levels of resistance to the left hand side of the chart. It's one level of support there, but the way price is moving right now, it does not give me super clear indication that it wants to go up or down. It seems like it's a bit stuck. We have these previous highs, we have these lows down here, so we're trading within this range for the most part. Obviously there's a bit of a breakout here. You never know, price could come up here and we could get into a sell. I don't know if I'd be super keen on that, but you know, we do have some good level of market structure here that could suggest that might be an opportunity. You know, place a sell right along here at 1635. Place the stop above these levels. Target 2 to 1, which isn't even the low here. That could be a good opportunity. So we'll mark this guy up. We will add in our alert. Great. And we will, I like even whole numbers, not like it makes a lot of sense, but 700, 1400. There we go. Alright. We'll just monitor that for now. EURCAD. Similarly, we had this double top. We've had this drop below this trend line. We've had this previous market level of structure. Multiple highs back here. Support over here. Support over here. Can't say I'd want to necessarily get into a sell here. Especially not if we already had this price action shoot up, come down, and then come back into this level so quickly. Probably just want to leave it for now. Moving right along, EURCHF, we have this obviously low level. In terms of a reversal opportunity, that could have been a good opportunity for a buy. When I can match prior levels of support or resistance with trend lines and large price movements, I'm always happy to try to get into a reversal trade. Obviously it's a little tougher to know where you should be placing your stops or take profits, but price had broken below these two previous lows, and we have some obviously trending price action, so we could have necessarily got into a buy, say somewhere around here, had a few hundred pip stop loss and a 2 to 1 take profit, but that's not the way she goes. So let's go on the lower time frame. Say there's a lot of support bouncing here, but I don't see much opportunity to draw on a good valid trend line outside of the one we have up here, so wouldn't be super keen if price came up there to try to get into a sell, so we're just gonna pass on this guy. Let's go into EURJPY. Similarly, price is going up on all the yen pairs. If price continues to make a new high and then comes back down, we could be looking to get into a buy at this position. Which in one scenario could hedge my risk for the USD trade, but in another scenario I typically do find the UJ tends to travel slightly differently than the other pairs. So I wouldn't be necessarily averse to entering a buy on one yen pair and then a sell on another yen pair. Moving right along, EUROJPY, EUROGBP. We have this multiple level of support. Go to the 1 hour. Right, price had broken out from this previous descending triangle and has now formed a new smaller descending triangle. We have a lot of bouncing at this level. Could suggest that were price to come down, it could bounce off this as it turns into resistance and continue even lower. But for now, we are just going to move right along. EURNZD on the 5 minutes. Let's see, nice movement up, nice drop down. Prices respecting this trend line and these levels of structure. We could possibly get into a sell here for price to continue further down. I think the next logical leg would probably be right around here. So if price continues to go up, we could hope that it shoots down. The only worry is that tonight there is the NZD interest rate decision, so price could on that news decision rally significantly higher, as they're expecting a 25 basis point increase, which is what's expected for the currency, but typically, I could be totally wrong here, typically helps the currency for value, which would cause the currency value to go down, right? Is it up or down? EURNZD would go down. If the NZD goes up, it would cause the evaluation of this trade to go down. Yeah. So never mind. We should be looking to get into a sell here. I'm just not sure where's a good place to trade a stop loss. Let's just make sure that that is happening. Yeah, so we have the the NZD official cash rate decisions at 7 p.m. tonight. They're expecting it to go from 5.25 to 5.5%. That'll happen. Jeez. $7 p.m., so 1900. So sometime right around here. So with that in mind, I could see price continuing up a little bit. We'll set our entry at 726. We'll target 120 pips. Stop loss will be 60. Just give me 1 sec. All right. All right. That's it. So that is set. Okay, simple enough. Moving right along. So that would be budget. $553 roughly. That's 22. Not sure when we're gonna enter EURNZD. Sell. Okay. Good enough for me, and we can move right along. Okay. EUROUSD. Looks like he's sort of broken out of that descending trend line. Price has come down, rejected, come down, rejected. Part of me would be somewhat tempted to buy as price continues up, but we've already seen it reject. Tough. You know what I'm saying? This could be a good opportunity for a trendline rejection entry. So we've rejected the trend line, we've broken out of it, we've come down, found support, failed to continue higher, found support, and is looking to continue higher. Just for my own sake, I'm not getting into this trade, but we're just going to monitor what would happen if we entered the buy here. Jeez, I'm not super keen about that risk reward. Never mind, we're going to scrap it. We're just going to move right along. Yeah, we'll check out GBPAUD. We were in this bit of ascending channel. Broke out, has started to continue back higher again. We are hitting into this bit of a resistance level. I think I'm just gonna let this one lie for a little bit. We're not gonna touch this guy. We're just gonna let him sit. We're gonna move on to GBPCAD. Right, he was trending in that zone. Sort of sold off, it started to come up. The question is this similar to EURNZD, where there is an opportunity as prices continue to drop further, or is he going to rally and continue a little higher? So are we expecting price to drop from this level of structure, or is price going to continue higher? Not totally sure. Not convinced either way, so we're just gonna monitor the trade, monitor the price action. What's the next one? GBPCHF. Looks like he's dropped. Right, we already looked at him a little bit earlier. Looks like he's dropped significantly. Quite a drop from roughly 10 o'clock last night, but he's rallied a lot since about 2. A lot of the CHF pairs have. I'm gonna clean up the chart a little bit. Can't say I'm super keen about what I'm looking at. I think we are just gonna ignore him and move right along. Look at GJ. Again, the euro pairs have made a nice move since midnight. Euro's looking pretty weak. A lot of the pairs are up today. GJ is up 0.5% on 84 pips roughly, at least on the pair that I'm looking at. I think we're gonna move right along. GBPNZD. Again, he's right at this level of market structure. Could go either way, could continue higher, could continue lower. I think just based on what this market level or this level of structure looks like, I'd be more keen on getting into a sell, but I'm not seeing any clear signals right now. So we are going to move right along. Don't see anything on the lower higher time frames. So go on to GU. I think something very similar. Not seeing much on the higher lower time frames. Some sideways price action outside of this trend line. Looks faintly similar to EURUSD. We had the breakout of the trend line and failure to make these highs. Moving along, NZDCAD, we are trading nicely in this descending channel. I can't say I'm looking at too many levels of structure where I'm interested in getting into a sell opportunity. Maybe if price were to shoot up this high, I could possibly think about getting into a sell. Which, you know, may happen when the news drops tonight for the interest rate decision. Could be an opportunity for a sell here. Let's mark our alerts. Mark it at 852. Alright. Excellent. Moving right along. NZDCHF. Again, we have this longer time frame descending trend line. Prices somewhat broken out of. Could be a one-off, you know, an artifact. Might not have actually broken out. On the lower time frame, we have a ascending trend line support. Let's go back here 1 sec. Let's try to connect a few more pieces here. There we go. There we go. Back onto the 5-minute. Lots of trend lines. Can't say I'm looking at anything in particular that's super. That just speaks to me as a good entry point. Oh. No clear market level of structure with lots of resistances. No clear level of support. Price is trading within those two trend lines. It'll likely, you know, might have a big breakout, continue back, have a pullback, and then continue on in that direction. So we are just going to monitor for that. But for now, we move right along. NZDJPY. Price is continuing up along this trend line. We are just going to continue to monitor for now. NZDU, price is going sideways on the lower time frame, sideways on the higher time frame. Not a whole lot happening here, so we're just going to continue to monitor. UCAD, we have a nice pendant forming, So we have these higher lows, we have these lower highs. Again, just sort of waiting for price to make a formative move to either the upside or the downside. Before we get in. USDCHF. Price action's looking a little wonky. Part of me wants to get into a sell up here at roughly 898. But I'm not super convinced just looking at this price action. Yeah, there could be an opportunity here. Get into a sell at 898 or 899. But I think we are just going to let it play out for now. We'll add our alert at 895, 8985. So we're notified, and that'll be about it. USDJPY continues to rise against us, like all the yen pairs are. The yen's quite bearish today, so a lot of the pairs are going up. But this is sort of the strategy on what we're basing it off. We have this ascending trend line that price is broken above. We have these previous levels of resistance. Back here that we were expecting price to reject off of, and so we got into a sell here with the stop loss at 139, targeting 2 to 1 roughly. And yeah, although on fresh analysis we can see price is broken out, come down, retest, failed to retest on news. But you know, news can have very acute, precipitous price drops, but I can't imagine it will maintain price action sometimes. Anyways, that didn't make a lot of sense, but hopefully you get what I mean. Let's move on to our indices. US 30, US 100, US 500, and our precious metal gold. Okay, can't say I see a whole lot for those guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the stream. Thank you for anybody who tunes in. Appreciate it. It was an hour and a half. Whew, not bad. That was not an hour and a half. I don't know why it says an hour and a half. Anyways, more like 40 minutes. All right, peace out everybody. Thank you, and good luck on your trades.